Hello everyone. The title of this video is an eventful sky. And yes, it is going to be quite eventful on around the winter solstice because a number of actually four different things are happening at very, very short period of time. Plus the winter solstice, which is going to give us an energy pattern for the next 3 months. So let's take a look at what's happening in the sky. And we are starting on December the 21st at 7:04 a.m. London time. Didn't put in a.m., but probably you will even if I don't put it in, you will probably know it. And I'm using London times, but of course, it depends on where you are physically. You can actually relocate the charts. I'm giving you the exact moments when this or that placement is becoming exact. And as you can see in the London chart, we have a Sagittarius rising. This Sagittarius rising actually is aligned with the Great Attractor. The Great Attractor is one of the key celestial areas in karmic astrology and carries the dilemma of fate and free will. And free will is very prominent in these 2 days, especially because we have a bi-directional Mars Uranus quincunx, which will be exact on the very same day in the afternoon. So that what particular chart is for the Venus Uranus opposition. And we are going to start with this. And Venus is also conjunct Lilith. Now, what is Venus-Uranus? According to Judy Hall, my master, she always explained Venus-Uranus aspects as the dilemma between commitment and freedom. And it doesn't really matter what sort of aspect you have, because what it means simply is that if you are in a committed relationship, you want your freedom. If this is a square or an opposition, like this is an opposition at the moment, it usually is a very challenging thing because you are unable to really fully commit, or you have lots of struggles and clashes around your freedom urges. And if it's a sextile or a trine or anything from the quintile series or septile series, then you can actually manage it quite well. You are able to commit and somehow remain free within the commitment to keep your own personal freedom, because that's what Venus Uranus is about. Now, this time it is an opposition, so yes, you do have the clash. And Venus is exactly conjunct Lilith, the asteroid Lilith, revolt against injustice. So the main theme is not just being free from any kind of commitment just for the sake of freedom, but actually it is about how you can be free because you don't feel right about it, because it is not to your liking, because it is not just, because it is it just gives you a degrading energy or flavor. That's the main issue here. On the ascendant, you have Ceres and Mars. Mars is still in the first house and Ceres is already in the 12th. So those two energies are rising. So the dilemma is around how you fight and how you nurture. On the IC, you have Chiron. So there is a lot of wound related to the home, the homeland. The karmic wounds and are linked to past energies and the hidden karmic past. And you have the moon as well there. So the moon is actually highlighting and illuminating the whole thing. And the North Node Aries conjunction is still very tight. This has been there for quite a while, so we are not going to pay attention to it. It's now separating actually. And you have actually four strong feminine in Virgo. Juno, which is applying towards all three actually, but although the dark moon Lilith is the fastest, so she's not going to reach it ever. Juno is committed relationships, so actually it is supporting commitment. Dark moon Lilith is the acceptance of the curse, the attitude when you say, I don't care, even if you curse me, I will do whatever I damn well please, something like that. Black moon Lilith is the committed behavior pattern when I know what to do and I am committed to do it, to do what's right, what's just, and I have the ability and the knowledge and the insight to do it. And then Trans Pluto is, of course, channeling and dimension jump. So those are the key energies. And of course, Mercury is retrograding towards the sun, which is going to move into Capricorn soon. So in the morning, you have the Venus-Uranus opposition. And as I said, this is the starting chart. So this is for 7 o'clock 04 in London. And then in the afternoon, you will have the exact Mars-Uranus bi-directional quincunx. We are going to look at it in a little while. And then on the winter solstice, on December 22nd at 3:27 a.m., we have the winter solstice. So the sun is moving into Capricorn, and in the afternoon at at 18:40 54 London time on the 22nd you will have an exact Sun Mercury Kazimi. So those are the events. So it's really quite an eventful 2 days. There is a complex planetary picture with the main protagonists of the space-time moment. First of all, you do have a finger of fate between, very interestingly, Juno, Venus, Lilith, and the moon. Now, before the asteroid Juno was spotted, we only had two feminine archetypes, Venus and the moon. And in patriarchal times, the goddess, the creator goddess, was dissected into two separate parts, and they were very, very keen on leaving these separate. The reproductive functions were given to the moon of the goddess, of course, and the joyful functions were given to Venus. And yeah, I mean, that's what happened. I mean, you had the heteras and geishas and whatnot, the ancient feminine craft or trade, and then you had the wives who were delivering the heirs and who were, of course, committed in the relationship. And when Juno was spotted in 1803, that is kind of the time when actually separating from a committed relationship became possible. This is quite interesting because before that, before those times, when you had a wedding, that was for life. And it was until death do us apart. So you couldn't get out of it. Yes, yes, you, dear English, you had your Henry VIII who did it and separated from his wife. But most of the time, it was for a lifetime. The commitment was for a lifetime. So it wasn't even the idea whether or not we need a commitment. And when by the 19th century, this was actually starting to become possible. That is when Juno appeared on the horizon, and all of a sudden you had the three feminine archetypes, the moon, which was the nurturing principle and also the mother archetype, Venus, who was the lover, and Juno, who was the committed consort, the committed wife. So that's an interesting thing. And now you have a finger of fate with these three feminine archetypes, with Lilith, revolt against injustice, put into the picture. There's also dissolved opposition. So the Venus-Uranus opposition is actually dissolved by Juno. There's also a mutable Earth engine between Mars, Juno, and Uranus. The Mars-Uranus bi-directional quincunx is almost exact by then. This is still the morning chart. And then you have a platform, which is the least high, actually the narrowest, let's put it this way, of the trapezes, and it's with Venus, Lilith, Mars, the Moon, and Uranus. And within this complex planetary picture, when we put in Jupiter, we have an archer. This is an archer configuration, a semi-sextile, a quindecile, 165 degrees, and 135 degrees, which is the sesquiquadrate. And the point of the archer is Jupiter, retrograde Jupiter in Taurus. Okay, let's take a look at the transcendental celestial objects. On the Venus-Lilith conjunction, you have Prometheus, the one who sees ahead of time. Prometheus is an archetype in karmic astrology. But if you have it prominent, you kind of know what to do in like 2-3 steps ahead of time. And it means a thoughtful planning energy. Plan your finances around Christmas times. It's always important. And then Zuben al-Shamali, which is the southern scale of the Libra, and Bernard Brady links it to negative social reform. I fully and wholeheartedly say that stars don't bring anything negative because they are higher dimensional energies. They simply can't. We can misunderstand them. So the star Zuben al-Shamali is what we call, I want to change the society because I know what's best. And this is exactly what you see. Actually, if you read Deloitte's study on how they want to change the world, Deloitte is one of the biggest, I think it's the second biggest corporation in the United States with 300,000 employees. And they have this brilliant plan how to make us a lot poorer in order to have something nice for the future. Thanks, but no thanks. Stop doing this. I don't care. They talk about food insecurity. Well, this is a pseudonym for hunger. So they are planning hunger for the world. It's ridiculous. That's exactly what Zumen al-Shamali stands for, that for some unseeable future, so it's going to be much better, but now you need to do this and that. And this, let me tell you, was happening in Hungary for 45 years throughout communism. We were kept telling that, okay, everything will be fine. You just need to survive a little bit more. You just need to bear the hardships and difficulties. You need to go a little bit hungry and everything will be fine. Ridiculous. Okay, this is stupid and ridiculous, and we have to fight against it. On Mars, which is rising, don't forget, you have Cassandra and Demeter. Cassandra is the Trojan princess who sees things before, but nobody believes her. And Demeter is, of course, the goddess of grain and agriculture. And on Jupiter, you have Gilgamesh, the hero. On Uranus, you have Buddha, enlightenment, and Justitia, justice, one of the cardinal virtues. And on Juno, you have Nyx, night, and Thalia, theater. That's exactly what you see, theater. The powers that be are playing theaters for us. There's also an energetic platform in the space-time moment. And until the sun is moving into Capricorn, you will have this energetic platform. Energetic planets symbolizing karmic astrology, archetypes that the native was unable to overcome or to absorb or to move or to manage in a previous lifetime, and now they are stuck. And at the moment, you have Sedna and Vesta, which are actually retrograding in the energy, so they're not going to move yet into the next sign. But at the same time, the Sun and Pluto will be moving into the next sign. The Sun by the evening, actually by next day morning, dawn. And the Sun-Pluto aspects, although this is a really minor aspect, the semi-sextile, they are about this is the magician aspect. They are about magic, how you can actually do magic. You have to be careful with it because on Pluto you have Circe, the magician woman, okay, Requiem, which means horrible consequences, Semele, which actually suggests that there are consequences. There are always consequences when you ask the gods. Semele used to be Zeus's lover, and Hera tricks her into asking Zeus to show his true form. And Zeus's true form is the lightning, and poor Semele is burned to death. And this suggests that don't ask the gods until you really know what you want and what you do. Valhalla is where Odin is bringing together the gods, and Orius, we spoke about this already. It is about mitigated punishment. On the sun, you have Xerxes and Sinestra. Sinistra is, I'm going to show it to you, it's the left hand of Ophiuchus, the serpent holder. On Sedna, there's Zoser, the pyramid building pharaoh, and the Pleiades, which have always been there in the past couple of months, and they will be there for another almost 2 years. And the Pleiades is the home of the creator goddess, so that's quite nice. And on Vesta, you have Asporus, another centaur, another archetype that is clairvoyant, but he's ridiculed and or not taken into consideration. So this is very interesting because this horoscope, not this one, but the winter solstice horoscope is going to be there for 3 months. And actually Vesta, a couple of hours later, will be still there. So you have these energies which are there for 2 days, and they will be impacting the future for 3 months. And yes, it means that a lot of us are seeing the future, a lot of us are seeing what's going on, but nobody is really paying attention to us. And here you have another three fixed stars, important fixed stars, Menkalian, Betelgeuse, and Polaris, which I'm going to show you in a minute. Here is Sinestra, Nu Ophiuchus. Now, quite interestingly, most of the time in ancient times, when they showed a figure, there was always the back that they were showing. And in that case, Sinestra would be the left hand. Sinestra means the left hand, actually. But now in modern times, they show us the front. And so in this case, Sinestra is the right hand of the serpent holder. That's why I use Eastern or Western instead of left or right, because it's much easier. So this is the Eastern hand of Ophiuchus. And the whole Ophiuchus and the serpent, which is kind of halfway hidden behind between the legs, actually. Sometimes they depict it behind the figure. What it represents is ancient healing knowledge that we have lost, and we should actually take it into our hands and use it instead of the medical complex, which is terrible. I mean, I'm not even talking about it. As you can see, the sun is right before the solstice point, and Sinistra is well above it. So you can see it just recently, a couple of years ago, moved into Capricorn. It's at Capricorn 0 degrees 4. And Mars is slightly out of bounds, 23 degrees and 27. It's just a little bit out of bounds, stepping out of the ecliptic. That's why I put it there. Okay. Here are the three bright stars that I was talking about: Betelgeuse, Menkalian, and Polaris. As you can see, Betelgeuse is Alpha Orion. It's quite close to the celestial equator, about 8 degrees from the celestial equator to the all three are northern stars, so all three can be observed. And Vesta is now aligned with them. And of course, we need to use the word alignment simply because they are not conjunct. You can see that none of it is conjunct. Betelgeuse is one of the brightest and best stars in the night sky. It suggests luck and success which is not limited and unlimited success. Let's put it this way. And then Menkalian is Beta Auriga, and then Polaris is our current pole star, which is Alpha Ursa Minor, so the little bear. Okay. And so then by the evening, early afternoon, we have the exact Mars Uranus bi-directional quincunx at 14:43 London time. It was there in the morning. It was quite tight, but it becomes exact now. And this is a bi-directional quincunx. And first of all, any Uranus-Mars aspects, as I said, are about free will, how you can exercise the free will. And actually, a bidirectional quincunx works as a trine. If it's a monodirectional, it's quite a disruptive energy pattern because quincunxes are funny energies because, I mean, if you look at the tradition, they don't even accept it as an aspect because there's all kinds of stuff. Why not? Mainly because they don't know how to interpret it. And in karmic astrology, of course, this is one of the major aspects, and it denotes something karmic, something that I dealt with in previous incarnations, and either because I couldn't resolve it or because I thought I could, but the patterns of the times changed, and what I realized in a past life, I can't actually utilize in this life because the energies are different. So that's what the karmic aspect means. That's what. So it's there, and if I don't work with it, it could make me ill actually. But if it's bidirectional, meaning that one planet is direct and the other one is retrograde, then you can utilize it as a trine. And this is the case with the Mars Uranus aspect here. quincunx here because Mars is direct and Uranus is retrograde. So actually, yes, you can utilize it as a trine and you could exercise your free will at these times. As you can see, the moon has moved up to the Aries North Node conjunction, but everything else is really the same. In the London chart, you have Ceres on the descendant, so the focal point is on nurturing. Okay, and then here's the winter solstice, half a day later, really. The sun is entering Capricorn on December 22nd at 3:27 a.m. London time. And as you can see, Jupiter now is on the descendant. So you can actually utilize a whole pattern on relationships and partnerships. And very interestingly, the moon has moved into Taurus. By that time, it's at 0 degrees 21. And of course, the sun is at 0 degrees 00 Taurus, Capricorn. Now, be aware that both the sun and the moon have diameters. The sun is at has a 32 minutes of an arc diameter, and the moon has an average of 31. It can vary from 28 till 33 or 4 even, depending on that it's at closer to the or farther from the Earth. It could be slightly bigger or smaller. The fact remains that this is practically both are at half a degree. So when you have a 0 degree Capricorn sun, it means that half of it is still in Sagittarius. And when you have a 0 degree 21 moon, then you still have 10 minutes of an arc in Aries. So this is a double trine. This is what's so brilliant about it, because you have the fire energy, transformation and inspiration, and you have the earth energy, creating something on the earth plane in a practical, normal way. So the two luminaries are very prominent in this winter solstice chart. Don't forget that it is going to be relevant for 3 months. You have a Scorpio ascendant, so Pluto is on is the chart ruler, which is on the 3rd house. So a lot of the things will be depending on how you communicate and what you learn. And the 2 million luminaries have a couple of transcendental celestial objects. On the sun, you have Xerxes, the warlord, and Ishtar, the goddess of love and war. So two war energies are there, unfortunately. Sinestra is still there, of course, no Ophiuchus. You may remember that Sinestra is at the moment at Capricorn 0 degrees 04, and each year a fixed star moves 52 seconds of an arc. It moves 1 degree in every 72 years. Think about it. So it's going to be there for quite a while for us at the winter solstice. And on the moon, you have Nike, the euphoria or ecstasy of winning, and 2 bright stars, Mirach and Arisha. Arisha is at the very, very end of Pisces. It's the knot where we create something new. It's what the 2 fish are linked, where the 2 fish are linked. And Mirach, Beta Andromeda, which is a very beautiful and feminine star. I'm going to show you first this, how these 2 stars are aligned, because that is an equatorial view. So this is exactly how we see it, actually, because that's the celestial equator, which is an extension of our equator. And as you can see, Arisha is very close to the celestial equator, while Mirach is up to the north. And still, they are aligned with the moon. And this is an ecliptical view, so I changed the perspective and put the ecliptic here. And you can see that, yes, they are aligned, but they are by no means conjunct. This is the important thing to remember, that stars could be anywhere and everywhere in the sky, not just on the ecliptic. There is a dissolved fixed ground cross in the London chart. You have the Venus-Uranus opposition. I took out Lilith here because I just wanted to concentrate on the main issue here. And of course, the midheaven and IC, and they make this fixed ground cross, but it is dissolved. It gets dissolved firstly by the Juno-Uranus trine. Pay attention to your liaisons, to your covenants, to your contracts, and of course to your spouse, if you have any. And Mars is also also dissolving it to it makes an exact trine with the midheaven. So those are the two main dissolution points. Besides the ground cross, you have a fixed fire engine, midheaven, Uranus, and Mars. And you also have a mutable Earth engine, Mars, Uranus, and Juno, that was there in the previous chart as well. So that's a very interesting pattern here. You can find more configurations within. You have a tiny platform here, which is actually the 10th platform because it has two squares as the inner energy, and but these are the most important ones. And the ground cross is that it is dissolved is important. Yes, we saw that. And the last but one thing is the Sun Mercury Kazimi, which is in the evening of December 22nd, right after the winter solstice, when the Sun and Mercury will be exactly conjunct. As you can see, they already moved into Capricorn. Mercury is still retrograding in Capricorn, ready to move back into Gemini, and the Sun just crossed the solstice point, and it's at 0 degrees 39 both. I mean, one is at 19 minutes and at 70 minutes. I couldn't make a more punctual chart because it doesn't even matter. And as you can see, they are not exactly conjunct in the declinations because the Sun is at its extreme declination. That's what we call it when the Sun is out of bounds, at the bounds really. And Mercury is slightly closer to the celestial equator, is at 21 degrees 17. So that is when they are kazimi. So kazimi means that to be at the heart of the Sun, but still they are not exactly conjunct in the declinations as well. Happy solstice. Pay attention to your family. Try to concentrate on the festivities and not the gifts per se. I don't believe in buying gifts. I always making my own gifts to my loved ones. The three exceptions are wine, chocolate, and flowers. Those, and books. The four actually. Those I occasionally buy, but I usually make my own gifts. And this is the time to reflect and to kind of move into yourselves. It's the darkest period of the year, but the Sun is moving into the solstice point when it turns back, and light will be growing from now on. Happy Christmas, everyone. Thank you for listening. Bye-bye.